Chevron and US 1. I picked up the Alma Times, stared silently at the headline that caught me by surprise. I read, "Where's the good Lord now?" Said a twister struck some town, and the government is shutting down while the debt is on the rise. I glanced across the highway, and out front of a church was a message board to save the lost, and on it were these words: if you've never prayed to Jesus or called on God at all, poured out your pain, cried your last tear at a Sunday altar call, if you tried to ignore the world but it's gotten to your mind, well, friend, I'd say, ain't it about time? The weight of what I'd read stopped me in my tracks, and suddenly standing there, the truth was crystal clear. Politicians can't agree, and crime and gasoline keep soaring while the war's been fought for 20 years. I took one look at that headline, then looked back at that church sign, shook my head and said, by now you'd think we'd all have seen the light. 'Cause if you've never prayed to Jesus or called on God at all, poured out your pain, cried your last tear at a Sunday altar call, if you tried to ignore the world but it's gotten to your mind, well, friend, I'd say, ain't it about time we lay aside our differences, raise a prayer with humbled hands? I'd say we've tried everything else, why not give love a chance? 'Cause if you've never prayed to Jesus or called on God at all, poured out your pain, cried your last tear at a Sunday altar call, if you tried to ignore the world but it's gotten to your mind, well, then I'd say, ain't it about time?
Hey everyone, good afternoon. Hey Roger Bennett, Mama T, No Fear, E Squared, Randall, Gypsy Soul. Thanks for coming, guys. Gypsy Soul, I wanted to make you a mod, but I don't know how to do that on StreamYard. When I made everyone mods, I did that straight through YouTube, so I'm gonna have to look into that later and make you one. So anyways, this is another last minute live. I just got my internet Wi-Fi restored at my house. Yay! My boys were about to drive me absolutely insane without having Wi-Fi for the past 4 days. And we did run the hotspot thing so they could at least watch TV and stuff. But yesterday about this time, we got a warning through our phone service that we only had like 10% of our hotspot left to use, and then they were going to start charging us for it. So had to cut them off. We played board games, we went swimming, you know, everything that we could do to stay busy, because we've all come so accustomed to, you know, video games and TV and internet. It's kind of sad, actually. They thought we were living in the apocalypse. So the reason why I'm doing this is because, and I'm not going to name any names, because you guys know that I'm not about the drama and the bullying and the stalking and the harassment and all of that. I don't want any part in it. And I understand that you cannot have a YouTube channel without that coming your way. So at times I'm going to have to face it, but I'm going to do my best to avoid being a part of it as much as possible. But just because I have brought, some of my clients onto Jimbo's channel and some of them onto Ernie's channel, all of a sudden I'm this new suspect in some people's eyes for being this scammer or something. And I mean, we knew that was going to happen, but I just wanted to come on here and address to you guys, like, yes, Alicia Turner is not my name. And majority of you guys know that. It hasn't been a secret within our community. I have used this alias name for approximately 21 years. Hi, Jayla. It was actually one of my first clients that I ever had whenever I started doing marketing and PR work and stuff. It was her idea that I do this to, at the time, stop her fan base from finding out who I was and harassing me and my family. And then over time, working with people that I was working with, I got more comfortable because things were pretty chill. And I did start using my real name. And some of my clients were actually tagging me and calling me out and things like that, And then it happened. Exactly what we tried to prevent, where I had stalkers, not because, they wanted me, but they wanted the people that I worked with and they thought that they could get to them through me. So then I had to go back to using the alias again. And for a while, it's been pretty peaceful. I used to have, a business site where my name was attached to it. And I had a list of all my clientele on there and stuff. But I had to remove all of that because it got too dangerous and annoying too. Like my emails were just constantly flooded. My phone number, was out there. So I was getting blowed up by their fans. And, so I kind of, I took a lot of that down and now I kind of just have social media for my church family and my friends. And, I do have some of my clients on there on my personal things, but everything's private. And I do have like Twitter and stuff, but I don't really use those things that much. I pretty much lay low. And that's to protect my family and my children and also the people that I work for. I don't want, like, they want me to be protected, which is great. And I want them to be protected of me coming on YouTube and trying to talk about things on here that I feel are important to me. I discuss Christianity a lot. I discuss the Bible a lot. I discuss politics. I talk about the things, what is it? Like, we're not supposed to talk about sex, politics, and religion, right? It's like an old saying. Well, I really don't discuss the sex part of it, but I talk about religion and politics and, things that some people get offended by. And this day and age, people can get pretty irate over your opinions. And in the past, it's been years, but it has happened where people didn't like what I was saying. So they ran to my clients and said stuff like, how can you work with her? She says this, she says that, or she's against this and that. And, harass them because of things that I said. So when I decided to come into this community, and Ernie advised me that there's a lot of harassment, there's a lot of trolling, there's a lot of bullies, I said, okay, then, well, I'll use my alias name when I come on. And then as I got to know people, and I met people through him and in this community and from some other channels as well, I let them know who I am. And, if they didn't ask or whatever, I just didn't say anything. But if some people did ask, then I let them know who I was. I'm very open about it. Now there's a woman who has recently doxed me, okay? And she's acting like there's some big conspiracy theory going on here. Like, I must be doing this because I'm a scammer, or I'm up to no good, or I've got all this hidden agenda. And I guess it hasn't crossed her mind that because I work with high profile people that I might not want to put my whole business out there, and I have 6 children, 2 stepchildren, 4 children that are mine. Hey.com. Ricky said they are a bunch of monkeys looking for a banana. Yeah, I get that in the true crime community, we have a bunch of online sleuths, armchair detectives, and there's nothing wrong with that. Investigating is fun. Looking into things is fun, I grew up reading Nancy Drew books, and then as a kid, and playing Clue and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I was into all kinds of investigative books and mystery books, and then true crime shows and documentaries and stuff. So, looking into things and investigating things is fun. I love to research. But you'll never see me go after somebody who hasn't done, committed some crime and attack them, or personally look into them to try to dox them to the world or something. Oh, your dad was a detective, Gypsy Soul? That's awesome. Yeah, if I wasn't doing what I'm already doing, I would probably look into being a private investigator. I just think that would be so fun. But the way that people do things here on YouTube is just, it's ridiculous. And I don't know if it's a power grab thing. Like, people just want to be the first person to come across some information and out someone and be like, aha, I'm this amazing detective. Because finding me out of who I really was, because I've been so honest about my job, who my clients are, where I've been, things that I've done, and all of that, even under this name, was like pretty easy to put the puzzle together and find out who I was. It didn't take a rocket scientist to like put it together. But I don't really care, for the most part, who pays the trolls to look. In my case, I don't know about other people's cases, but in this case, I don't think this was a person who was paid to do it or anything. I think it was just a person who thought, well, they obviously don't like Ernie and Jimbo and stuff. So they thought that, I must be like part of whatever scams or bad things that they think that Ernie and Jimbo are doing. Like, we're all in this club together just looking to take all y'all's money. And I've never asked for a dime on here from any one of you guys, and I doubt I ever will. I'd have to fall on some pretty hard times. And that is not against anyone who has. Like, I think we should be there and help each other out during hard times. That's what friends do. Like, I tell a lot of you that I love you, and I do, because I've met you, or I've talked to you off of YouTube and got to know you and hear your stories and what you're going through and build a relationship with you. And when it's in my power to do so, I will help you. If you've fallen on hard times, I mean, look at what's been done for Ocean Lover lately. I mean, guys, that is amazing. So there's nothing wrong with asking for help when you need it. It's just, at this point, thank the Lord, I haven't had to. So I don't even know why I'm getting called a scammer and a grifter and an e-bagger and all this stuff, because I haven't done any of those things. Let me read some of your comments while I'm ranting for a second. .com said, "E-Square, are you feeling better?" She said, "I'm feeling okay. Thanks for asking." Mama T said, "Yes, that's exactly 100% what they think." Yeah. And she saw we passed the same $5 around. Roger Bennett, a lot of us are scammers to them and they can make us feel bad, but I'm learning their games. Hi, MC Lick Lick Pop. How you doing, hon? Good to see you in here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to sit here and, I already have speculated why they're doing it. So I can't say that I'm not going to speculate because I have. But I don't really know the reason why that they're doing it. But it's been done. And I've been made to look like I'm some nefarious person. That's not the case. I'll tell you who I am. Just a second. Mama T said, Alicia, just go to your YouTube live and you don't have to actually into YouTube. Just go to your thing like you're coming on to Minor Ernie's channel and go into there and you can mod her that way. Okay. Gypsy Soul, nobody believes them and we all love you no matter who you are. Thank you, Gypsy Soul. She is so beautiful, guys. If you see her on a live, Gypsy Soul is so beautiful. So who I am is nobody of any importance. You know, I know that like Ernie's brought me on sometimes and you know, makes me out to be like I'm almost like a celebrity type person. And I think that that's just because he admires my work and he likes me, you know. But I'm not, guys. I sit at home most days. And from the time I get up till the time I go to bed at night, I am what I like to call a gopher person. Or a personal assistant, I guess. I do whatever my client person needs me to do. So it could be writing up a press release. It could be updating their websites for them. It could be reporting some of their stalkers that they're having at the time. It could be booking gigs for them, upcoming things that they need and stuff. It could be even replying to their fans on their social media because they don't have the time, or replying to emails for them because they don't have the time. I mean, I've been asked to do all kinds of things, even helping editing books, you know, or giving some extra ideas that they may need, or going over lines with them, you know. I've helped rewrite some comedy skits for some clients. I mean, I'm just pretty much the person that is here for whatever that they may need. And sometimes it's not even like work-based. Sometimes it's just that we've built such a relationship between myself and my client that they call me just whenever they're going through a hard time and they need someone to talk. And then they'll be like, you know, hey, I will send you $100. Just listen to me for 30 minutes, please. I need someone. And I always say, you don't have to pay me to do something like that. But they do anyways, because in the entertainment industry thing, they know that, you know, money means everything. That's how you get anything. And so, and also out of respect for me too, for taking up my time, I think that they do it. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not a celebrity myself. I'm not anyone of any more importance than anyone that's in here listening to me right now. I'm not rich. You know, I get paid just about as much as, you know, most basic jobs do for what I do. The only glitz and glam that comes along with my job is that I get invited, you know, sometimes to charity events or concerts or, you know, parties that they're throwing. I don't even go to a lot of what I'm invited to because I have social anxiety disorder and I feel more comfortable behind the camera, out of the spotlight, and at home with my family. That's just the way it is. And they have tried to lure me to come to things and stuff. And, you know, now if I'm getting offered a decent pay to come and take, photographs and videos and stuff of like a client's performance or something, then yeah, I'll come to that. But most of the time, you'll find me at home in my comfort zone. However, I really do want to go to Brandon Maddox's show that Jimbo booked him to. And mainly because I want to meet a lot of our community that says that they're going to be there and meet E Squared. I think that would be awesome. And I think it's a smaller setting, I think it'll be within my comfort zone. I just don't like going to the really big concerts where there's like, well over 1,000 people all crowding around me, screaming and dancing and all that. Can't do it. Okay, Roger Bennett said, Mama T, hey, I heard what your first name was today, if it's true, but to me, you are Mama T, just like Alicia is Alicia to me. Yeah, what does it even matter? You're Jerome to Prince. Ricky says, I've been playing with a black snake today. Okay. I was going to say something, but I won't. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, feel free to ask. I'm really an open book. I know I hide behind, this alias name, which this name comes from a friend that I grew up with. And we had plans to do the work that I'm doing now together, but it was a little different back then because it was like pre-internet time. And we were big fans, which I talked about this on another one of my live, she was a huge fan of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I was a huge fan of Brad Renfro. And we thought we were going to work for them, and we were going to do, we were going to be their personal assistants like we had saw on a movie, and we were going to live the high life because we thought we were going to get so rich from that. But she passed away, and whenever I did go into doing the work and the opportunity arose for me to actually do this job, I always wanted her to be a piece of it. So that's why I chose her name as my alias name. And also, may I add that some of my interns and people that I have trained to do the kind of work that I do have also used this alias name. So if you Google Alicia Turner and you find certain articles that are out there that were written, if they're still up, or things like that, and it's not always me who did those. Sometimes that's interns or people who I was trained that were using this name, that was doing small jobs that were given as they were learning how to do everything. Thank you for clearing up all the confusion we had earlier, and we all paranoid and thought you were Agent 99. Really? In the beginning, I remember that there were some people that were really mean to me because I was called Illuminati, told that I worked for the government and that I was a spy. I can't remember all of the things now, but I understand, why people assume those things or suspect those things. And like I said, this is pretty much a branch of the true crime community where, everybody is researching and investigating and suspicious of this and suspicious of that. And then it also kind of even is a branch of the conspiracy theory community. And I've been guilty of going down a few rabbit holes on YouTube, late night, can't sleep, and getting paranoid. E Squared, because they are nosy asses. Laugh out loud. MC look like Pop. I also want to go to Corbin but don't want to drive myself. So may ask son and his wife and 2 teen boys to go, so I will get to come down and meet Jimbo and all the others that will be there. I love live music too. Man, I really hope that a good bit of you are able to come and we can all have like a meet and greet and hang out and get to know each other in person. I think that will also squash a lot of this, online rumors and stuff that are running like wildfire. Jimmy from the Bayou, Alicia, Mama T, Roger, Gypsy, No Fear, hello. So how has everyone's morning been so far? It's been a good quiet morning here. My boys are behaving. The husband's playing around with his boat. .com. I did have a question you early on, but saw the errors of my ways. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think that any of us should just blindly follow someone else. I think we should all start with 50% caution and 50% trust. Like, gives people a break from the very beginning, be open-minded to that person, until they do something to break that trust. They're innocent until proven guilty, right? But at the same time, don't just blindly open up to anybody and be like, hey, this is me and this is my life and blah, 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 and then that person turn out to be, someone who's up to no good and that only wants to hurt you. But I think online, that's kind of how we have to be. We have to be cautious, but at the same time, be open to the fact that we may have just met a new really good friend. Okay, Mama T. Jimmy. So Jimbo is working with one of my clients right now, Brandon Maddox, and Jimbo was able to book a show for him in Corbin at the Ice House in Corbin, Kentucky, at the Ice House on September 24th. So Brandon's going to be playing live, and a couple of other people are going to be playing live there. And a good bit of us are trying to go there and all do like a meet and greet and watch Brandon and everybody live. MC, I plan on going. If it's Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, I will be there. Mama T, I watch her lives when I can because she was bad about putting my name out there. Hi, Crazy Nurse. Well, maybe if you have someone close around you, Jimmy, they might be able to pick you up and bring you. Maybe talk to Jimbo about finding out someone who may be close to you that's coming that would be willing to offer you a ride. I know that I won't be coming anywhere near your way. Well, welcome, Crazy Nurse. We watch out for one another because they can be dirty. Love you all. Right, Jimmy. Well, we'll ask around and see if there's any other South Carolina folks that would be willing to pick you up and bring you. See, Gypsy Soul's in North Carolina, so I don't know how close together you might be. Who does this? Don't ask me, ask your mama. You found me on Ernie's channel? So, really, that's all I can say. Like I said, if people had questions, I can answer, but I'm just a 40-year-old woman with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. Like I said, I have social anxiety, and I have a husband who has uncontrolled pseudo seizures. He has post-traumatic stress disorder due to the first 16 years of his life. He was abused in every way by his stepfather. My story is out there. His story is out there. Both of us have, talked online before about our past and everything that we've been through, so that way we could help others be understanding, and how did you find out you had lupus and arthritis? I was hurting and aching all over, and I felt like I was too young, and I wasn't doing anything, to cause the pain to come on that I could think of. And I changed my diet, and I did, everything that I could find online to do to feel better. And I was losing energy. I was feeling fatigued a lot. I felt like I was staying sick all the time. So I went to doctor after doctor, had a few blood tests done. Finally, something that, came up in blood work. They sent me to a rheumatoid specialist, and they did more testing there. And then that's when it came back of what it was. And they also did scans, and that's when they found the degenerative disc disorder. Jimmy said, I have crippling arthritis. I think that's what it is. I can't walk hardly. I can't move my arms after sitting still, my legs. Yeah, talk to your doctor about seeing like a rheumatoid specialist. Crazy nurse. I have PTSD from our Army son's suicide. Oh my goodness. Hon, I'm sorry. Do you mind if I add you on our prayer list, Crazy Nurse? Roger Bennett. Alicia, my seizures are from my childhood. I was molested growing up and started having seizures when I was 16. Yeah, that's pretty much what my husband's issue is. And you had talked to me about this before, Roger Bennett, and that's what we ended up finding out when we were trying to, like, he started having these seizures. He had them when he was a kid. They went away. They were dormant for a while. Then he started having them after our youngest son was born. And it was like 2-3 times a week. And they were lasting for, 10 to 20 minutes at times. And so we were going to different doctors, and they couldn't figure out, like, they do the, was it the EEG or the EKG? I can't keep up with all this medical jargon stuff, but they used to monitor him to see if he had stuff going on in his brain and stuff, and they weren't finding anything. But what they did notice when they kept him like overnight is that when he was sleeping, he would start talking in his sleep and making like cry sounds. And then he would go into a full-blown seizure. So they asked me to start recording his seizures. Hello, Mason Lee. Okay, Crazy Nurse, I'm going to stop what I'm saying right now, and I'm going to put you down on the prayer list before I forget. I don't want to forget. Got you. Okay. So they asked me to start monitoring his seizures and stuff, and taking video of them when he had them. So that way, when we went back to the doctors again, I could show the doctors the videos, they could review them and see what they look like and figure out what kinds that he was having. You're welcome, Crazy Nurse. So I did that, and because of those videos, the doctors was able to determine what they thought that was happening, and that's when they came up with the PNES pseudo seizures. And so that is not like epileptic type seizures where, you know, something misfires, triggers, whatever happens, and, you know, and then the person falls out, and for 1 to 3 minutes, you know, they either have like a blackout or they actually shake, or, you know, because there's different types. But it wasn't happening like that for him. Most of his were coming at night during sleep. And then sometimes in the day, if he was really tired or his stress level was up, or, you know, something triggered, where some of us would have a panic attack, he was going into seizures where he would kind of know they were coming on, because he'd start having like this metallic taste in his mouth, and then his fingertips would tingle, his face would kind of begin to tighten up, and then he knew he didn't have very much time to get to a safe spot before he would fall over and be into a full-blown seizure. And they would last, like I said, 15, 20 minutes, and it was horrific to watch. My children too, you know, had to experience seeing their dad on the floor, you know, just flopping all over the place. And sometimes he'd bite the inside of his cheek, sometimes he'd bite his tongue, you know. But over time, they couldn't find a medication or anything that would help. Anti-anxiety medicine did help some, but nothing has ever like fully taken them away. But over time, all of that, you know, shaking and seizing on the ground and stuff, even with me putting pillows under his head and, you know, trying to like hold him the best that I could so he wasn't hurting himself, he tore his back up. So he had to have back surgery, and then back surgery again to repair the first messed up back surgery due to seizing. And now he needs another one, because after he had a second back surgery, he still was seizing before completely healed and has 2 broken screws in his back. Hi, Mystery Lady. So it's just been a journey, guys, and it all comes from, you know, 16 years of all types of abuse. And I feel like, no, Crazy Nurse, seizure medications actually do the complete opposite. Like anticonvulsions actually make him have more seizures, which is another thing that we had to learn. And they kept trying him on different seizure medications in the beginning, and then everything got really bad. And he started getting to where he couldn't feel his face. He was sleeping a lot, which was causing the night terrors, or, you know, the terrors while he was sleeping, the subconscious reminding him of things that he went through. Roger Bennett said Gelatin and clozapam helped me. They tried all kinds. Yeah, he was on those. He was on Topamax. There was another one that started with a T. I mean, at one point in time, they had him on like 2 different anticonvulsants and then 2 add-ons to those. And I felt like we were at the hospital all the time, because he was just, he'd go into a seizure, he'd come out of it, he'd be exhausted, sleep a little bit, wake up, have another one. And I really thought this was going to kill him. Like, you can't seize that much, you know, like it can't be good on your brain. And at one point it like enlarged his heart, like doubled the size of his heart. And he had to stay at the hospital for a while they, you know, got that under control. Crazy Nurse said, you're right. I did neuro ICU and I am used to giving that. So finally, we went to Emory in Atlanta. Hi, Rosemary J. Rosemary J. I always want to say Rosemary for some reason. Must attend my fur baby. We'll catch your replay. Much love and respect. Love you. So we went to Emory in Atlanta, and he stayed there for 3 days, overnight and stuff. And they just had him monitored constantly. And they played around with meds a little bit and things. And then one of the doctors towards the last day we were there came in, and he acted like he actually had some knowledge, and he wasn't just experimenting on my husband like how the rest of the doctors acted. And he gave him Valium, and he gave him, I think it was like 3 pills, Haleen Polston. And he said, when you go home, because we were getting ready to leave right before, and he said, when you go home, take one of these every morning for 3 days. And then he gave us his information, told us to call and see how things go after the 3 days. So we did that. And it was the quietest time that we had. I mean, that medication did it for him. He did still have some light tremors, but nothing like what was happening to him. Alicia, are they doing any trials on this? You know, I have no idea. There's not a lot of information on it. And so I have put his videos out there and shared our story. And I even ran a group for a long time, helping other people with similar types of seizures. And people still reach out to me to this day and say, you know, our doctors can't figure out what kind of seizures we're having either. And it always seems like it leads back to childhood trauma. Jimmy, my prayers go out to you, Alicia, and your family, and prayers and much love to all. I got to go find something to eat tonight. Okay, Jimmy, thank you for coming in. We love you, hon. Alicia, check out the NIH. I bet they're doing a trial. Mr. Lady, good to know. Well, so we found out that the Valium was helping a whole lot. It was practically stopping his seizures. We told the doctor that, and he said that's what he thought. We got to meet with him a couple of times after that, and he talked to my husband about getting into some therapy. And we looked around for a therapist, and at first we thought this is a disaster, because he had the first 2 sessions, he had a seizure and they had to stop the session. And of course, you know, he's at a therapist's office and they freak out. So they call an ambulance and he's, you know, taken to the hospital. And so, you know, I told my husband, if this happens again the next time, then we're done with it. Because obviously it's like hurting more than helping, is what I thought. But actually, I think he went through like a cleansing process, because we went back that 3rd time and he made it through the entire session with no seizure. And then me and him started opening up a lot. And he started talking to me about what he went through as a child, you know, and as a teen. And yeah, I just think he went through a cleansing process, because they started to slow down a lot. And now to this day, he may have 3 or 4 a month, and it's usually at night. And a lot of times he doesn't even know it. He just wakes up hurting and sore the next day. It's totally changed from the way that it used to be. And he takes a mild anxiety pill every day. You know, and of course he's got some nerve pills and stuff that he takes because of his back injury. And that might help too, because they are nerve pills. But I feel like we are, you know, out of the valley and on a mountain now, because, years ago, I would have thought that he would never even made it this long, how bad his seizures were. Hey, Ernie. Just legs. I had a couple of those kinds of seizures when I was a teenager, not realizing it was caused from a head injury 3 months prior. Sunlight flickering to the trees triggered it. Yeah, that sounds more like some type of an epilepsy that you got from that injury. Because see, he's not triggered at all by strobe lights or flashing lights or video games or anything. His triggers all come from dreams or somebody saying something or some kind of event happening that's too close that reminds him, like he has flashbacks of the childhood trauma. Alicia, the mind can only take so much. That's when the physical becomes to come through. Yeah, that's pretty much how the doctor explained it to us, which is why I said earlier, where some of us might go into a panic attack, where we can't breathe and our blood pressure goes up and we feel like we're having a heart attack. He goes into a seizure, which at the time that he's seizing, his mind completely shuts down, and so it's a blackout. And sometimes it could be, he could just be sitting there and it looks like he just falls off to sleep and his whole body tenses up and he might just have a little of a shake and he'll grind his teeth really bad, which has done a lot of damage on his teeth. And then other times it's full floor force, flopping all over the floor. But the therapist helped him, and our pastor too, once our pastor knew everything that was going on and got to see reports himself, and he did some study and research too. And he already has, of course, talent with counseling people, was able to get him to where he could recognize what triggers him and what bothers him, forgive and forget in a way, to let go of a lot of the things that he was holding on to. He actually had a conversation with his stepfather and put it all out there about how he felt, how everything that he put him through has made him have these problems. And, for a little bit, it was hot and heavy. And then he cried and he told him that he forgave him. And he told him that he might not ever be able to completely forget, but if he wanted Christ to forgive him for his sins, then he had to forgive him for his. And after that, he's been a new man in a lot of ways. So, guys, there's something to that. There really is. If you're holding a grudge against anyone, or if anyone has hurt you, and you're living with, post-traumatic stress disorder, or night terrors, or anxiety, or depression, as hard as it is, you have to find a way to let it go and forgive and move on. Because I've seen it myself, how it's almost a cure. He's not 100%, no, but I'd say 88% from the way he was just a few years ago. Alicia, has he been offered the chair therapy treatment? I don't know what that is, but we moved from Georgia to Florida. And once we moved down here to Florida, he went to therapy a little bit down here for a while. And then he felt like he was done. I mean, like after he confronted his stepdad about it and he did that forgiving, I think he really, really meant it. And he didn't feel like he needed the therapy after that. Just legs. I was put on medication for a short time. They stopped. Then I had experienced high stress levels, which started to trigger them again. And I learned then to calm myself down. Yeah. Alicia, I can get upset. Lights and some games causes mine. When everything came out about my childhood, they said it was too much on me and I couldn't handle it. So maybe, maybe all epilepsy is induced by stress, and trauma and stuff, whether it's physical or mental. I don't know. I haven't studied all the different types of seizures. I've pretty much put all my time and effort into studying these pseudo PNES seizures because I was trying to find ways to help my husband. Yeah, he had to forgive it for himself. Yeah. Hey, MAGA Country, Daisy Joe, Maggie, Jen Mail South. Hey, guys. So he came in at the middle of me talking about something that's pretty heavy, but I mean, I don't think there's much more to say on that. But yeah, so there's my health struggles, there's his health struggles. Then he has 2 sons, and then we have the 4. So, we stay pretty busy. We're tight-knit family. We do go to church and work in different charities within our community and helping people out. That's all the events that I need, and I'm tired out and fatigued. Crazy Nurse Alicia, they used to use it. An empty chair is placed in a room and people are there for safety, and the person goes off against their abuser. Wow. No, they never offered him anything like that. I mean, he did it the dangerous way. Like, we went and spoke to our pastor. Our pastor told him that that's what needed to be done. He talked to him for about an hour, prayed with him. And then my husband felt like he was strong in that moment to do it. And if he didn't do it now, he would never do it. So we drove over there. And of course, his stepdad's old now. And he just told him everything that he had been holding back and how he felt, and, just let it all out there. And then they both actually broke down crying, and he kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then my husband said, well, I forgive you. And he said, if Christ is gonna forgive me, I have to forgive you. And then, he sat there and they cried a little bit more. Nothing was really being said. And that's kind of when I stepped in and said, at this point, babe, I don't think there's anything more to say. Let him sit on it, and you've done your part. Let's go home. So we left. At 3:00, E Squared is going live. So I want to wrap this up really soon, so that way we're not, taking from her, and everybody can go over and watch Miss E Squared. Oh yeah, let's see. Ernie has the new jungle thing, which I think is like Dolly's Turtle Island, but more for, our side. So he's got that posted on his community page, and I think we have 40 minutes left to go vote for who we want on his community page. Hi, Morning Glories. So I guess you go over there and you vote for one of your favorite creators. And I don't know if he said you could vote more than once or not. MAGA or Ernie, are y'all still in here? Does anyone know if you're able to vote more than once or not? I don't know. But I voted for Jimbo. Can't vote for Ernie because he's the one who's the host of it all. And I think you're supposed to just go and vote for who your favorite creator in our little community is, to get them put on or put in the jungle, I think. So if you want to go and do that before 3, because I think that's what he said his cutoff is. Yeah, I can't remember either, Ricky. I forgot already too. Which he did say he was going to make a video at 8 p.m. and he was going to give all of the details. Thank you, Crazy Nurse. That's so sweet. I think I did get a couple of votes. I think Brandon Maddox's wife voted for me. I saw that. And Randall voted for me, my buddy. You guys, they even came after Randall. Like, I don't know if you watched Ernie's live with him. But Randall is just the most sweetest, chillest, coolest dude who would do anything for anyone if he had it to do it. I mean, I can't say anything but good about him. And I trained him for a while on doing my job. And then he branched off on his own, which I helped him get it started and stuff. I think it was in 2020, maybe. I don't know. I'm horrible with dates. But, you know, I let him do like intern work for me and trained him for a while to learn. And I hooked him up with some clients right from the beginning. And he branched out on his own. I still help him once in a while, but not really. I mean, if he has questions or concerns or he comes across something he don't know, he'll ask me. But pretty much he has his own business and he does his own thing. And I saw that they were like making fun of him or calling him a scammer or a liar or something like that, because the online magazine that just did an article about Randall and his business, you can pay to be on there. So that's, I guess, why they're calling him, because they made a post about, for $80, anybody can be on this. Well, I hate to break it to you, but for someone who works in, you know, entertainment and media and stuff, anybody can be paid to be on anything. You can pay to be on, if you got the right kind of money, you can be anywhere you want, you know. But that doesn't always mean that just because somebody is on one of those entertainment sites or press sites or, you know, online magazines or something like that, that they paid, because they also have these like recruiter people, these talent. Oh, just had a bee on me. I don't even know where it came from. Maybe my window was open. I felt something crawling up my arm and it's this little bee. But anyways, they go out and they find people to fill the pages of their magazine or their blog site or whatever, you know. And if they see that you're an interesting person, they'll approach you and say, hey, would you like an article written about me, or can I interview you or something? And usually in return, all they want is for that person to promote their blog or their, you know, website, magazine, press site, whatever it is. But sure, if you want to pay to be put on there, you can do that too. But that's what they were attacking him for. And I just think it's ridiculous, because I mean, he's never done anything to anybody, and he would never do anything to anybody. He's not going to retaliate back or anything, because he's just not that type of person. He was just attacked for being on Ernie's channel, and it's pathetic. Jimbo is a target to come off Turtle Island tonight, and that's Dolly's thing. Oh, I want to save Jimbo. Hopefully it don't cost an arm and a leg to save him. I think Dolly said that his next thing was Saturday. Well, what's today? See, this is what happens when you stay inside your house all the time and you don't even know what day it is. Yeah, it's Saturday, so I think it's tonight that he's doing it. Because that's what I heard him say last, unless he's changed it. Okay, guys, I'll let you all go. Thank you for listening to me. That way, everybody has 30 minutes before E Squared gets started. If you want to go over and watch her live and support her, um, please keep her in your prayers. But before I close out, I want to go over this updated prayer list, and you guys can add anybody on that you need to. Hi, Misty Dawn. So we have Ocean Lover, of course, with her liver transplant that's coming up. Vulcan Rising still needs prayers for her sister who's been missing for over 40 years. Mama T's daughter needs prayers. Southern Gal has a godchild that needs a kidney transplant. 616 Love needs some prayers for her health. Mystery Lady asked for unspoken prayers for her husband. Of course, E Squared and everything that she's going through with her cancer journey, with her colon cancer. Mama C, Jimbo's wife, has unspoken prayers request. MC Lick Lick Pop has some unspoken prayer requests. Roger Bennett for her health and some finance issues while she's working on moving to feel safer. So please pray for her. Faith Over Fear also has lupus and health-related issues. Jess said her mom is not in good health and she needed some prayers for her mother. Tian said going through chemo, cousin just recently died in a motorcycle accident and they had to put their fur baby down. So one of those things where when it rains, it pours. She's really going through it. So keep her in your prayers, please. Rosemary J, health issues. Audrey's Corner Cafe has some unspoken prayer request. And then, of course, we just added Crazy Nurse on too. So does anybody else have any requests that they want me to add before we pray out? Does somebody in here have the link to E Squared's channel that they can pop up for Crazy Nurse? Maybe I still have it under a banner. Let me look. No, that's just her Cash App. Ricky, do you have E Squared's channel link you can post for me? Oh, Misty Dawn, it doesn't cost anything to save Jimbo. You just have to call in. All right, you have some unspoken requests. All right, I'll put you on there right now. Misty Dawn, unspoken. Okay. So while someone finds that link for Miss E Squared's channel, I'm going to go ahead and pray us out. And we'll close out so that way we can go over and watch her live when it starts very soon. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Forgive me for all my sins, Lord. Thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you for your many blessings. Thank you for hearing these prayer requests. Lord, you know their situations and what they're going through. Father God, I pray that you'll bring them peace and comfort and that you'll have your hand in everything that's being done and that it'll all work out for your glory and that they'll get a great testimony out of the trials that they're going through, Father God. And Father, I know that in the big scheme of things, this YouTube drama probably just seems silly. But to some of us that are on here that have been really hurt due to it and how their whole lives changed and their families messed with, Father God, I just pray, Lord, that you'll protect your children through all of it and that you'll take care of what needs to be done. Lord, we know that your word tells us that do unto others as you have done unto you. And we know that when you're evil to someone, it comes back on them, Lord. And we just got to trust that you've got this, Father God. And you love us, and that you'll take care of the situation. You know our hearts. You know which one of us means, to be good to one another, and which of us are on here just for pure evil. And we love you, Lord, and we just thank you for all that you do. Be with everyone as they go through their weekend. Keep them all safe. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Ricky. Love you too, Maggie. You're welcome, NC. Also add everyone in Eastern Kentucky. Oh, I thought I had that on here. Oh, I do. It's the very thing at the top that's in the big letters, Pray for Kentucky. And I was only reading what I had written down below. But yes, we need to continue to pray for people of Kentucky. Love you, Gypsy Soul. Love you, Roger Bennett. All right, guys, I'll see you over at E Square's channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.